Morning. Now, in February, we spoke to Joe Appiah. Now, Joe had recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer, and he was on this programme. He was urging other men to get themselves checked.
So this was part of an NHS campaign which led to a surge in men contacting their doctor. But for one man, Joe's interview had a genuine life-changing impact.
That man is Ted Sayers. Now, Ted was watching the programme that day and then decided to get a test. And that's a decision he says saved his life. Both men have met for the first time. Jane McCubbin was there.
This is a story about a gift.
Oh, wow. Back again. This is brilliant. My name is Joe Appiah. On 17th of February, I was live on BBC Breakfast with John and Naga talking about prostate cancer. Definitely not easy sharing the story, and generally, men, we don't like to talk about these things.
And my GP said to me, what do you want the test for? I said, well, my friend is just the same age as me. He's been diagnosed with it. It transpired that my one was 17%. It should be for my age around 3 to 5%. I've been diagnosed early, and it means that my friend has saved my life.
My name's Ted Sayers. On the 17th of February this year, I was watching BBC Breakfast at home. I saw Joe's story about prostate cancer and how it's affected him, and I thought, I need to get myself tested.
And that's exactly what he did.
So, can I introduce somebody? This is Ted, coming down right now.
Inspired by Joe's story, Ted was tested. And his prostate cancer was caught before there were even any symptoms. Today he is in treatment with a great chance of recovery.
Joe, Ted.
All thanks to Joe.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Without Joe, I mean, I would not be here today talking to you. I mean, it's really good to speak to you.
That's exceptional.
Yeah.
It's just amazing that somebody's life and their family are now happy because of the story that I've told. That's amazing for me.
Yeah.
Yes, excellent.
I've got so many questions to ask.
Go ahead, just ask me anything you want to ask me, because I'm here to support you.
Just as Joe's friend gave him the gift of information which saved his life, so Joe has done the same for Ted. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. For black men, that's 1 in 4. But with early diagnosis, it can be treated.
So what happened when you saw me on TV?
So from that point, the same day actually, I phoned the doctor. The GP said, look, can I get a PSA test? I've seen this programme on BBC. I thought, I've got nothing to worry about here. Okay. And all the way through everything, I thought, this is nothing. I've got no symptoms. Yeah, it's just a complete shock. They're telling you you've got cancer and it's not what's going on in your head.
Just because you don't have symptoms, it doesn't mean that you may not be something wrong.
Yeah. What treatment did you go for? Because there obviously a number of options.
Because of my age and because of the fact that it's been caught early, that I was advised to do the operation to remove my prostate. Yeah. You know, as you can see, I recovered really quickly. Because you've recovered so well as well, that really helps me. You got in there early, you're still young, and you have got a chance now to live your life, and live your life as normal as possible. I have.
And you can tell that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Now you'll be fine.
You got this.
The worst moment was being told I had cancer. I've tried to stay positive throughout, but meeting Joe today has boosted that no end, really.
The feeling of meeting Ted today is just been absolutely brilliant. It's just a dream come true that the message I set out has got to Ted and saved his life.
Having seen Joe and knowing what he's been through and how he's recovered and literally bounced back, it's just, you know, it does sort of inspire me to think I can do that too.
It's a good story, isn't it? Joe, Ted, here, morning.
Good morning.
Chiara De Beate from Prostate Cancer UK as well, morning to you. It's been a very jovial atmosphere in the studio this morning, because this is a good time, isn't it? Joe, who'd have thought it? You were sitting there, I was sitting here, we had John with us on the sofa when we were chatting about that. Who'd have thought the impact you'd make? And the campaign, of course, and the NHS campaign.
Yeah, I mean, I like to say John is sick, isn't he? So recover.
Oh, yeah, he's got COVID. He'll be fine. He's okay.
Yes, I hope you recover soon. Yeah, I never thought I'll come back here, firstly, and also to hear about Ted's story, in that he saw me on TV and it inspired him to go and use the prostate cancer 30-second risk checker.
That's what you wanted to do, though, isn't it? You wanted to just make a difference. So I think, you know, even say, even if one person just hears this.
Yeah.
And it's about the way the message was told, because, Ted, it wasn't that, you know, Joe was sitting there going, right, you must test, and it was football. It was the chat about football.
He mentioned five-side football, which I take part in, and it just clicked. I don't know why. It's a really strange thing to say that, but yeah, it's because of football. I probably didn't take as much notice of the rest of what he said at that time.
Ted, you pick up on this for me, because a lot of men, and I'm always wary of generalisations, don't go to the doctor very much and don't think about going to the doctor very much. Is that you? Are you one of those people?
I generally think I don't need to. I've been fairly healthy all my life, really, but this was Joe that sort of, not pushed me, but gave me the sort of impetus to look into it.
People will be curious. So you see the piece,
yeah,
and you hear the words. What do you literally do next? Did you sit back on the sofa and go, OK, I'll make an appointment? What happened next?
I had a bit of a history because my uncle died of prostate cancer back at Christmas last year, and so it was in my mind. So when Joe mentioned it, I thought, yeah, it's something I should do something about. And most of us would probably think, yeah, I'll do something, and then just forget it. But I didn't, and I don't know why. I still don't. It's just one of those things. It did stay with me.
And do you want to just, so people know the story kind of up to date, how's things?
I've had lots of tests, and I'm having surgery in a fortnight in Liverpool.
What does that involve?
It's a robot radical prostatectomy. It's complete removal of the prostate by a robot. It's something like 7 incisions around the...
Yeah, it's six incisions, which I had exactly the same, the same operation.
How do you feel about that? Because it must be mixed. It must be like, if I didn't find out, I wouldn't be having this operation.
Absolutely.
But if I didn't find out, I would need this operation much later, and it could be much more damaging.
It's possible that you wouldn't have that option in a couple of years' time, maybe, which is why I needed to do it straight away.
I know you did that thing in the film we saw a moment ago, and you said, any questions? The only question, just ask me. Are there any... I mean, because this whole point, in a way, we will talk in just a second, I promise you, is that you're being open about things, and that's what this is about. So, I mean, are there things now, you've got an operation 2 weeks' time, are there things that are still rattling around?
For us, I mean, everybody's different, of course, and he just wanted to know what it felt like and what's the recovery time, and what sort of support would you need from the people around you, what sort of support do you need from the NHS, what sort of support you may need from Prostate Cancer UK. So,
well, I think it's a good point now to finally talk to you, Chiara, because what does happen? So just specifically, before we talk about the impact of the campaign, because I think it's evident, the impact. Someone has that operation, what is the impact of it? What's the recovery? How does it affect the body later on? You know, and why these guys, were they given this option?
Well, the great thing about this option is that means that the cancer has been caught early, and that's the most important thing. But we almost have to reverse the logic in prostate cancer, where normal cancer awareness is about looking for signs and symptoms or something that's different, something that's changed. We don't have that in prostate cancer because early prostate cancer doesn't have symptoms, just like TED. So what we want to do is to activate men to understand their risk of getting it in the first place. Once they get into the pathway, like TED, then they get wrapped around with this fantastic care from the NHS. Our nurses at Prostate Cancer UK will hold the hands of these men as they go through that recovery journey. But the really important thing is for men to go to Prostate Cancer UK, complete the 30-second risk checker, just like TED.
And it is only 30 seconds.
Yeah, it is. And we saw the impact. We were here in February, and we know that your viewers are amazing. 44,000 people checked their risk while we were sat right here. And that's brilliant. and the referral figures were great, really encouraging in March, but they've dropped right back down again. So we haven't really done what we needed to do in terms of recovering from the pandemic.
Do you know one of the things I think that is often in people's heads, and this applies to both sexes, I think, is that you don't want to waste people's time. You know, if someone's sitting at home listening to what you're saying now, thinking the 30-second checklist or whatever, and they're thinking, do you know what, I think I'm okay. I don't want to waste someone's time. I don't want to get in the doctors where they're busy people. We all know that, don't we? That is often an overriding sense in people's just approach to anything to do with their own bodies and how they are.
Yeah, and I guess what we're doing today is giving people permission to put themselves first. We want people to understand their risk, much like any of the cancers really, but our GP friends, primary care, our secondary partners in these big treating hospitals are absolutely on board and supporting this campaign because they can see the figures, they can see the numbers, and you know, these men are worth saving, so we need them to come forward and check their risk and understand what they can do with that.
Is that why you winked at them just before the camera? I saw the wink. So you thought you were doing it very subtly. There was a wink that went across the table.
Well, they're being really brave. You know, nothing that I say really matters.
Charlie,
it's these guys.
No, but you know, I think we have to be open with the audience, don't we?
It's equally important that when people have done the 30-second risk checker, it's equally important for them to then approach their GP to have a conversation. Because even it may be that when they've done the checker, the risk is low, but it still doesn't necessarily mean that there may not be something there. Because, like you said, I didn't have symptoms, and Ted didn't have symptoms, and I didn't really have a family history at the time.
Now, the person who told you to go get checked because he had symptoms, went through it, he's fine, yeah?
Yes.
Good,
yes.
OK. 2 weeks, you've got the op. Good luck.
Thank you.
How much contact are you going to be in, kind of?
Well, as much as I can, really.
Yeah. Good man, good man.
If you're in the mood, I'll just put it out there because it's a very personal thing. If you're in the mood, Ted, that you want to share any more of your story with us,
Do.
I think I can safely say that we'd be interested to know. And I know it's very personal what's going to happen next, and it may well be not something you want to do, as Joe's done so much. But if you do, then let's keep in touch. How about that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Always believe that there's great support out there, and you also got the family support. You got the support of me, for example. I'm supporting somebody that just got recently diagnosed. He just met me by chance at one of the fundraising events, Raise the Roof, hosted by Jules Holland a couple of weeks ago, and I'm now supporting him. So there's people out there that are willing to support. And for anybody that are in the same situation as you, there are great support out there for them. You're not alone.
Thanks.
Joe, Ted, thank you. Chiara, thank you very much as well.